Yeah, Boker Tov, everybody. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Morris, you're muted, just to let you know. Maybe you want to be muted.
Looks like he's talking to Beth.
Oh, got it. Okay. Just wanted to let you know, in case you were talking to us. How's everybody?
Doing good today.
Good.
Good. I think we have everybody who's planning on coming. So I know we started a little late. We can go a little late if you'd like. I kind of left it with everybody. Please review chapters 1 through 3. And we had, well, so it's kind of up to you if you want to do kind of a brief review or just move on. By popular vote, I mean, I kind of feel like we'll get a little bit of a review with the new material, but it's all up to you if you'd like to like settle in a little bit.
So we got through halfway of level 4 or chapter 4 last time. So were you
Yeah.
thinking just start at 4 again?
Yes. How does everyone feel about that? Okay.
Fine with me.
All right. I don't think we necessarily need to review the new vocabulary. Avot, fathers, artsot. So amim, basically plurals. So I think we were on page, kind of where we left off was page 26, where we were talking about the extra pronoun in short noun sentences. Page 26.
Right.
So this is a very formal and way of writing. No one speaks this way. It might be written, you know, in a book or in the Bible, but when they use these short noun sentences. And again, that would be an extra pronoun appearing in noun sentences and conjugates to the noun it refers to. So ha'av, hu hamelech, the father is the king. So it's not the father. And I think Barb gave us an example the last time we were in class. Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Malkeinu. Yeah. So yeah, Sarah, he, ha'em. Again, he, meaning she in Hebrew, conjugating to Sarah. Ha-mlachim, hem, ha'avot. The kings, they are, or the kings are fathers. Okay. So, we did the translation, and I think we kind of went over the translations on page 27. So I'm thinking maybe we can go to page 28, fill in the blanks with an appropriate word. There may be more than one correct answer. And Mike, do you want to, I think maybe we'll start with the people here and then go, you know, Brenda, and kind of follow along on the screen. So on page 28, number 1, I can do the first one. Ani av v'ata av. I am a father and you are a father. Blank avot. So you could say anachnu avot, we are fathers. We learned the kind of biblical term for anachnu, anu. Anu avot, you and I are fathers. And I think that's all that would work in that sentence. I mean, I guess, you know, wouldn't be technically incorrect to say him, they are fathers. All right. Number 2, Mike.
Miatam. Miatam.
Me atem.
So that's question.
Me is a question word, meaning
So
who?
yeah, who are you?
Who are you? Plural.
Plural, right? Who are you?
Plural.
Who, in Chicago, be who are yous guys?
Yeah, who are yous guys? That's exactly what it would be. And you're right, because it is guys.
Right,
It ends in mem sofit. So it means it's a group of either all males or all girls and one male. So it's a mixed group or males. Okay.
So something Habani.
Who are you?
Who are you?
So Ben is a son. So you are probably
So
Michal Ben. What is your Hebrew? I'm sorry, your Hebrew name is
Michael,
Michael Ben,
Svi Herschel.
Steve Herschel.
So it would be Anachnu again.
Who are you? Yeah. Anachnu
Habani.
ha-banim. We are the sons or, children like B'nai
Yeah.
Yisrael. Yeah.
Habani.
Yeah. Okay. Janine, this is a hard one.
Okay, you'll help me, I'm sure.
Morris.
Would Ayla work?
What?
Would the word Ayla work?
Who are you? Well, yeah, I mean, I guess it's this kind of question of who are you? They are the sons. It isn't really like an answer to the question, maybe. Like if I said to you guys, who are you guys? And you said, they are the sons, I'd be like, who are you talking about? You know what I mean? But yes, as far as like grammatically speaking as an independent sentence, it would work. Ele habanim. They are the sons or they are the children. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay.
Leah, he, that, Basara, he bought. Okay. So help me out here. Oh, yeah.
So Leah
Leah
is a female
daughter,
name. Mhm.
is a daughter, and Sarah is a daughter. So, and it would it be Autumn?
And so Leah hibat. That's one of those short noun pronoun sentences
Uh-huh,
where you don't really need the he. You can just say Leah bat,
right.
but Leah hibat. It's kind of a Vasara hibat.
Mhm.
So Leah is a daughter and Sarah is a daughter. Hen, they plural.
Our daughter.
Hen, banot. Banot.
Oh, Benot.
Banot.
Okay,
Yeah, so
banot.
bat as a plural word becomes banot. Banot.
Okay.
Even so the taf changes to a nun when it becomes plural.
Okay.
So we say B'nai Mitzvot instead of like bar mitzvah, we say B'nai Mitzvah.
Yeah,
But if it was all female, it would be
Bate.
B'tei
Yeah,
Mitzvot.
you could. But I think everybody still says B'nai Mitzvot, you know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Okay.
yeah. If it was like a group of, you'd still probably say B'nai Mitzvot. Yeah.
So when we pluralize, it goes to the masculine plural still.
Banot is
But-
girls, banim is like children, boys.
Right.
Banot is children, girls.
Okay.
Yeah, so like if it was just a class of female children, you'd say hen banot. If it was a mixed class, hem. Did you hear the difference between the nun sofit and the mem sofit? So hen, like a chicken, banot. Hem, like the hem of a dress, banim. Yeah. So, but interestingly, so bat becomes banot and ban becomes banim. So it is a little confusing. And, but it's a word you'll start to recognize, like, although I don't think they talk about the daughters very much or the children, banot in the Bible as much as the B'nai Yisrael children, but yes.
Yeah. A is the same as banim.
I'm sorry?
B'nai is the same as banim.
Well, so that's a grammatical question. When you say B'nai Yisrael, you're literally saying the children of Israel. So you drop the mem sofit because it becomes a Israel participle, like children of Israel. So Bnei Yisrael. So you wouldn't say Banim Yisrael. Sefrei Torah instead of Sephrim Torah, the books of Torah. Sefrei Torah, the books of Torah. So it's like a contraction, I guess you could say, or making a participle sentence. Does that make sense?
When it's female, what is it? Would it still be Benot Yisrael, or do you?
You probably still say B'nai Yisrael. Yeah, in modern spoken. Yeah, B'nai. And because Banot becomes Banot, I mean, technically it would be Banot Yisrael, but I think everyone would say B'nai Yisrael, which could be confusing unless you know who you're talking about. But yeah, it would probably be Banot Yisrael. But yeah, the daughters of Israel. Yeah. Any questions based on that? So does everyone understand what I'm saying about like a participle sentence like B'tei Sefer are schools, not Beit Sefer means school, literally house of the book. But to pluralize it, it would be B'tei Sefer, houses of the book. Sefer Torah, a book of Torah. Sifrei Torah, books of Torah. B'nai Yisrael, children of Israel. So it becomes a contraction, and so you lose the like mem sofit. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. But that's probably farther along in the book. Okay. Number 4.
Anu Habanim, we are the sons, or we are the children. Ani Moshe, Vahu Abraham. I am Moshe, and he is Abraham.
Yeah, perfect.
Like it could also be Hu Moshe, Vahu Abraham.
Yeah. Because you're saying we, so we are the children. Hu Moshe, he's Moses. Vahu Abraham. Ani Moshe. Yeah, either one works. Okay, Brenda, number 5.
Number 5, Mi ata, who are you? Ani hamalech, I am the king.
Ani Hamelech. Yep. Who are you? I am the king. Number 6, Ed.
Atem ha'avot ele ha'banim. So it's they are the fathers, and
You plural. Atem.
you are the fathers, and they are the sons. It would be Hem ha'banot.
Hen.
They-
Hen with a nun sofit.
Yeah,
Atem.
hen.
Hen. Yeah. Atem ha'avot, you are the fathers. Ele ha'banim, they are,
The son.
or
Or the-
yeah, the sons. The hen habanot, and they are the daughters. Yes. Number 7, Barb.
Avraham, hu av, Vasarah, he, and you could say aim for mother. You could probably also say bat, which would be daughter, right?
Yeah. Abraham or achot, sister. She could be anything, right?
Right.
Bat doda, niece. Bat dod is like daughter of my uncle. Niece. Yeah. 8, Morris. And this is
Morris, you're muted.
an example of one of those noun sentences, short noun sentences.
Let's see. Right, can't read my writing here. Had, is it, Moshe, him,
Moshe is a man, one man.
right,
Moshe, who, so this is a short noun sentence. They're basically saying Moses blank son. So Moshe, who ben, Moses is a son. Veleah. So what we want to say is Leah, she is a daughter, a bat.
so that would be, a him,
He,
Yeah.
so it would be Moshe, who ben, Veleah, he,
he,
bat.
but,
Moses, who is, he is a son, Veleah and Leah, there's the conjunction, and he, bat. Leah, she is a daughter. Questions based on that? Okay, Tamal,
Ata ben ve'at bat atem banim. You are a son and you are a daughter. You guys are children.
yes. Very good. All right, do we want to work on translating from English to Hebrew? Do you want to do that, or do you think that might be a little, yeah, okay.
I think we need it.
I think so, yeah. It's hard though. Okay, so we'll take it slowly, no worries. Mike, well, I'll do the first one. Well, that's an easy one, but whatever. I'll do the first one. Mispar Chad, number 1. Ani Moshe. Ani Moshe. Me. And so when they use the F and the SG, they're referring to gender first, and then whether it's singular or plural. So FSG means feminine singular. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. So the person's asking, who are you, to one single female. So Ani Moshe, me, at. And I chose at because it's the female singular version of you. Okay. Mispar Stein. Are we? I think I will
Yeah.
start with Mike again.
Yeah.
Okay, just yeah. Okay.
Ani Leah. Ani Bat. The Ani Ima or
Yeah. Yes. Ima or M. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Janine.
Okay, who is she? That would be maybe me, he,
Me, he.
and then he, Ima, Ima.
He, ha, ima, ha. The article attaches to the noun. He, ha, ima.
We are the fathers and they are the sons. Anachnu ha'avot, v'hem habanot,
Ha,
habanim.
habanim, habanim, yes. 5.
Number 5, this is the truth. Zot ha'emet.
Zot ha'emet. Yep. Ed?
You are the kings and they are the fathers. Atem hamalchim, the atem ha'avot.
Close. Okay, so the first part, Atem hamlachim, that's correct. V, him, they.
Oh, it's they. Oh, yeah. Him,
Mhm.
ha'avot.
Him ha'avot, yes. 7.
Okay, these are the words, which is Ele Hadvarim.
Ele hadvarim, yes. 8, Morris.
You are the mother. Im at
At,
ha ima.
yes, at ha'ima, or im, yes, ima, at ha'ima. Tama,
Number 9, we are the children. Anachnu habanim or yeladim.
yes. Is everyone familiar with the word yeladim? Yeled is boy, yelda is girl. So in modern spoken Hebrew, yeled means boy. So yeladim are children, and that's actually the word you would use in Israel. You wouldn't say efo abanim. That sounds very archaic. You'd say efo yeladim, where are the children? Yeladim hem osim mashu. They're doing something. Okay. Mike.
This is the Sabbath. So. Is that?
So yeah, the first thing you think of is Shabbat, a singular or plural word, and is it masculine or feminine? It's feminine, so you're on the right track.
Shabbat, but that's not
Zot
Zot HaShabbat.
HaShabbat or Zo HaShabbat,
Zot.
which is kind of more of a written, you might see it in biblical Hebrew. Zo, yeah. Well, yeah, somewhat in spoken Hebrew, but Zot HaShabbat or Zo HaShabbat. Okay, from the Aleinu, the top of page 29, there are some excerpts that include the first word with the pronoun we and the attached vav. So it makes it, so let's see, who are we on? Janine? Do you want to read the Hebrew from the Aleinu? And now we know, we're knowing what we're saying.
Just this little section right
Yeah, it might be difficult, so
here. I'll give it my best.
okay.
The Nachnu, Hovarim,
Korim,
Korim, Umesha Avim,
Umishtachavim,
okay, and Umodim.
yes. Vanachnu, and we. Korim, thou, present tense. It's mixed gender or both gender, but the masculine form is used. We, present tense, thou, u. So it's the vav again, but it's making the u sound. Okay, remember how we said the vav changes sounds from va to u, depending on which letter it's in front of. So va anachnu, the hard sound, korim, umishtachavim, and we worship umodim, like right from moda ani lefanecha, right? I give thanks, moda ani, but modim is like we give thanks, right? Because it says anachnu, we bow, and we worship, and we give thanks. See the continuity there? Yeah, okay. From Ein Kelohenu, these lines are taken from Ein Kelohenu, and this verse is made up of short noun sentences. So notice that the pronoun who is inserted between the two words of each sentence, but refers back to the subject pronoun. All right, Ellen?
Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkenu, Atahu Moshienu.
Right. And now from our vocabulary, we can actually really understand what we're saying here, right? Because we know ata, you, and then who, that's just, now the noun tense. You are Eloheinu, El, our God. Atahu Adonenu, Adon, from Adon Olam, Asher Malach, right? So, and Adon in spoken Hebrew means Lord, literally. Like it would be somebody's title, like Adon or Adoni, excuse me, sir. Like if you were, going to say Adon, Slicha, Adon, like Adoni, like, it would be more like Mr. in modern spoken Hebrew, like Adon Weinstein, you know what I mean? So, yeah. Atahu Malkeinu from Melech, right? But the Ha becomes Ka, just when so that's, Malkeinu is literally Hamelech Shelanu, but it's like a contraction. So our king. Atahu Mosheinu from Moshiach, like Moshiach Shelanu, Moshienu. You see how they did that? Maybe not. It's complicated, but basically it's the shortened version of saying our. Okay. Any questions based on that? Okay. Chapter 5.
Woo!
The title, is the title archaic too? The Adonai, from Adonai?
Atahu is Adon Shalanu. You mean archaic? Nobody really says Adon.
Is that like so it's not even Mr., it'd be like saying master, like a proper,
Probably.
well, like the old, like the English when you would address, like when I had my bar mitzvah, we sent out invitations. If you were a single male, it said master. It was just
Really?
very formal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is really formal. Like I was trying to think of an example when I meant use it. But like, yeah, if I was like in Israel and there was like an old waiter or something and I was trying to get his attention, I might say,
Excuse me.
Slicha, Adoni, Slicha, Adoni, Efshar lekabel, something like, so. Yeah, I don't really know when you'd use it. Like you wouldn't actually say Adon Perez, like you'd say Mar, which is Mr. Mar Perez, but it is used in modern spoken Hebrew. So but maybe not like, but and it would be used to talk about like a lord, like if you were, it would be translated in a book about somebody who was actually a lord in England, or
Right.
you know what I mean, in the House of Commons or something. That would be that word too.
Okay.
So, okay.
But Mike just showed his age.
Yeah, master. Right.
Now, how old are you?
Not that old.
I was gonna say, I think I'm older than
No,
you,
that
and I
was-
didn't write master to
I don't know.
anybody.
I'm in my.
I'm in the fives too,
Fives.
and I don't think I wrote master to anybody, but okay, that's okay. That's cool.
But
I think that was probably something that.
the calligrapher did the invitation.
Ah,
I'm like,
okay.
why is my friend a master?
I think that's something Evan Morris and I know about well.
Okay.
I
It
never
has-
said that, but I'm
It's
older
very
than you.
shocking to young
Yeah.
ears.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not even young, but I'm like trying to see it through my kids' eyes, like they would be like, that's racist, or or
Right.
oppressive, or sexist, or all of those things. Anyway. Okay. Alan, are we on you? I'm sorry.
Are we on?
I think-
Whatever.
Are we? Okay, Alan, you're starting.
Master-
Okay.
Master Allen.
So we're on page 30. I think we're going to start with the new vocabulary, because that oral review exercise is literally what we just did, wrapping up chapter 4. And I think you all will be familiar with the 5 new vocabulary words. So I'm going to read them. Baruch, blessed. Baruch atah Adonai. Blessed art thou. Yeah. Gadol, big or great. Atah gadol. Vashimcha gadol. Okay, Tov, good. Boker Tov, Erev Tov, Yom Tov, good. Kadosh, 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 holy. Rav, many, much, abundant. Do you know the song Shalom Rav? Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha. Yeah, Shalom Rav, like much, abundance. Yeah, a lot.
Isn't Rav short for rabbi too? I mean, that's.
Rav is also short for rabbi. Rav Cook. But
I met his grandson,
did you really?
Ralph Cook, yeah.
Well,
I
that's-
spent a Shabbos with him.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
You would really know the difference. You know, it's like English, it's a homonym, I guess. Right? Rav, rabbi, and Rav a lot, but you would know in context what somebody was saying. And nobody really says Rav Cook except the religious, the team might say. But even they might say the Rebbe, you know,
Right,
Harebi.
right.
Yeah. Okay. Any questions on the vocabulary words? Okay. Well, as we know, adjectives are words used to describe a noun. And in English, adjectives come before the noun and they don't change, right? Good father, good mother, good family, good children, right? But in Hebrew, the adjective usually comes after the noun that it describes, and it conjugates to the noun that it describes. So again, in English, while an adjective only has one form and doesn't change from singular to plural, no matter what kind of noun. So like, again, a good father, good fathers, good mother, etc. In Hebrew, every adjective has 4 forms, okay, to conjugate to all the 4 types of Hebrew nouns. And by 4 types, we mean masculine singular, masculine plural, feminine singular, feminine plural. Everybody get that? Okay. And we've kind of seen an example of that already with some of the vocabulary words that we've used and how we've learned how to conjugate them to, you know, their noun object or whatever. So, for example, the Hebrew adjective tov, which means what again, Brenda? Tov? Good. Yes. So I would say Yom Tov, good day. Yalda or Ima Tova, a good mom, right? Ima Tova. Banim Tovim, good students. Banot Tovot, good female students. Okay. So page 32, the Hebrew adjective must always match the noun it describes. So Brenda, do you want to read the first example at the top of the page?
Melech Tov, a good king.
Yes. Ed, the next one.
Eretz Tova, the good land, good
Yeah.
land.
Brenda, or Barbara, sorry.
That's okay. Malachim Tovim,
Yes,
good kings.
good kings. Morris,
Aratzot Tovot.
Aratzot Tovot. So the 4 forms of the adjectives introduced in this chapter are, and for the most part, it's going to be the simple word. Then to feminize it singular, you're going to put a hey on the end of it, right? Tov, tova, the letter hey. To make it masculine, just like a verb or just like a noun, you add yud mem safi, right? For masculine, to make it masculine plural. And for feminine plural, you do the vav, taf, just like with nouns and verbs. So the conjugation rules kind of stay the same. Do we see that? So we can kind of like guess if we know that Rav, Rabba, Rabim, Rabot would still be the same with Tov. It follows the same pattern. Tov, Tova, Tovim, Tovot. So anyway, let's read it through because the more you see it and hear it, the more you'll recognize it. So as you can see, we're reading down in the column, not across. Can you see that? Okay. So Tamar, do you want to start with the first word? Tell us what it means and read down.
Would we be starting with much or great?
Let's start with much, just to
Okay,
follow.
much. Rav, it's a singular male, like much. Rabah, it would be female. Rabim, be male plural. Rabot would be female plural.
Yes. Mike, holy,
Holy. Kadosh would be male singular. Kidosha
Kadosha.
is female singular. Kidoshim is male plural, and Kidoshot is female plural.
Yes.
Courtney, a question. So
Yes.
like father, which becomes of and avot, but because you know it's masculine, you would use masculine singular and masculine plural, right?
Yes. So that would be confusing, right? So we'll get to that, but like avot tovim.
Okay.
Avot, yeah, it does not change to conform to the weird aberrant grammatical rule that made of, of avot instead of avim. So the same with women, the plural of women is nashim. For isha, nashim would be nashim tovot, because women are still plural.
So it's what they are, not what the word is.
Correct. It's the
Okay.
whatever. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay, we're looking at good now.
Yes.
So, tov is male singular. Tova, female singular. Tovim, male plural. And tovot is female plural.
Yes.
Great. Gadol is male singular. Gadolah is female singular. Gadolim, male plural. Gadolot is female plural.
Yes. And just so you know, in biblical Hebrew, it means great, but what it really means is big. So like someone might ask me, how are your kids? Well, hem gedolim achshav, like they're big. Or how tall is the building? Gadol mod, so you wouldn't really say like hu gadol in modern spoken Hebrew. Like you'd literally be saying he is big, and they're like, what do you mean? Like he's a short guy or whatever. So gadol is really like, like hu gadol, like, that's kind of like biblical literary stuff. Just FYI, because it doesn't translate in modern. Okay. Examples of adjectives with nouns you've learned. Brenda.
Ben Gadol.
Ben gadol. Yeah. And you can translate it great son or big son, however since they give you both. All right. Ed.
Bat Gedolah, big daughter.
Yes.
Or great daughter.
Yeah, great daughter. Yeah. She'd probably prefer that. I'm
Yeah.
kidding.
I'm sure my daughters would prefer being called great.
Yeah. Barb.
Kadosh, a holy people.
Kadosh. Morris, so here's an example of where the adjective describes the essence of the word and not the form.
So Eretz Kadosha, a
Yeah,
holy land.
holy land, yeah. Tamar.
Varim Rabim, many words.
And just again, in modern spoken Hebrew, it means thing or items, not words, but it's from Lidaber, Devar Torah. So really, it would be milim rabot, would actually mean many words in spoken Hebrew, but dvarim rabim, many things in the biblical Hebrew. Okay. Just in case anybody wants that. But if it's confusing to like take it, translate to modern, I'll stop doing that. But it's useful to know, I think. Okay. Dvarim rabim. Next one. I think, are we back to Mike?
Okay. Brachot rabot. So many Many blessings.
Brachot rabot. Yes. So this goes to Bart's question. We were just talking about a masculine noun is always masculine and must use a masculine adjective, even when it has a feminine plural ending, like vav tav. The same is true of feminine nouns that have the masculine ending, yud mem safit. Av tov. Av is essence, essentially a masculine singular noun. Avot tovim. Good fathers, because Av is still masculine. Page 34. Definite objects. Okay. So definite objects, does everyone know in English the difference between a definite and an indefinite object? It's the difference between a book and the book. A table, the table. So it makes something distinctive or specific. A blessing is a bracha. The blessing is ha bracha. So just like you added the vav, or you put the vav in front of a word to make the conjunction, u bracha, or va'anachnu, umodim, you add the hey in front of a noun to make it specific, to make it a definite noun. So bracha, a blessing, ha bracha, the blessing. Ben, a son, ha ben, the son. Okay, Abraham is a specific person, so we wouldn't say ha Abraham, just like we wouldn't say ha Courtney or ha Brenda, right? We're just our name. When a Hebrew adjective is used with a definite noun in a phrase, so that's kind of a complicated sentence, I guess, but so if you're basically saying a good king, that's not specific, right? A good king. The good king is specific. And there is a very specific grammatical rule that you do. So when the Hebrew adjective is used with a definite noun, like the king, the book, the adjective must have the hey attached as well. And the hey is not translated. So basically what they're saying is when you say the great king, you say ha melech ha gadol. The ha has to be in front of both the noun and the adjective. Do you see that? Okay. So it looks like you're literally saying the king, the great, or the big, but you're literally just saying the great king. It's just a rule that the definite article hey, which is also a letter, be in both in front of the noun and the corresponding adjective. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see it as we go along. Okay, so yeah.
But
And
do you
you'll
pronounce it? If you're reading it aloud, do you pronounce it?
you pronounce it, you don't translate it. You
Okay.
translate it the first time. So when you see a definite noun, the great king with the corresponding adjective, you only translate the once, right? Because you don't say the king, the great is here. You know, the nations, the many are, you know, in the desert or whatever. So yeah, you translate the one time and it's always just, I mean, you can kind of remember it is if you see a hey and there's an adjective with it, the adjective has to have the hey as well. Basically because it like completely, sorry, my mask is slipping or something today. So it's, anyway, it completely corresponds, conjugates to. So, okay, so the next example is ha'amim ha'rabim, the many nations. Okay, so Sarah HaTova, good Sarah. And you know, you don't need to say HaSarah HaGadolah because Sarah is a specific person. Or Yisrael HaTova, good Israel. I don't know. Okay. When a Hebrew adjective is used with a definite noun to form a complete sentence, the adjective does not have a hey attached. What that means is when you're actually making it a sentence in present tense, as we know in Hebrew, there is no linking verb in the present tense. There would be no hey. So this is how you know it's a sentence and not a phrase. Hamelech gadol. The king is great, because there's no corresponding hey after gadol. So you know that there's a link, so you know that it's being used as a in a short sentence, and the nations are many. Ha'amim rabim. The nations are many. Sarah is good. Sarah tova, with the assumed linking verb. And the reason we know it's a sentence and not a phrase, a noun phrase, is because there's not the corresponding hey to match. In a noun sentence, the adjective can come before or after the noun. This is only in biblical Hebrew. This is not in modern spoken Hebrew, okay?
Courtney, in the book too, if it's a sentence, they add a period. So there is punctuation.
That is correct. Yeah. Yeah. Hamim Rabbi. Correct.
Okay. So if
There
the period wasn't there, then it would be Sarah Hatorah, Hatova.
Probably. Yeah, right? Because it would just be a phrase.
Right.
But Amim Rabim could, in and of itself, be in the middle of a sentence. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
Yeah, I'll end up using a lot of other vocabulary. But yeah, the nations are many and the lands are small or whatever. But there wouldn't always necessarily be a period there. But yeah, you're right. If there's punctuation, then it's probably not a phrase, right? Because that would be an incomplete sentence. So in a noun sentence, the adjective can come before or after the noun. And this is really, truly biblical Hebrew. So, Gadol HaMelech, great is the king, right? Or HaMelech Gadol, which would be the more typical way to say it, right?
Yeah, as a phrase, we've heard Hamelech Hagadol more, right?
Yeah, the great king,
Right.
HaMelech HaGadol. Mhm.
Is it for redundancy, emphasis, because it
No,
was-
HaMelech HaGadol literally means the great king. It's not a sentence.
right?
This is only HaMelech Gadol. There's no hey in front of it. So it's actually a sentence and not a
Right.
phrase.
I'm saying,
HaMelech HaGadol is a phrase, the great king.
but I've just heard in my brain that the repeated hey more than
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
more than the
right,
sentence? Yes, probably. Probably. I'm trying.
or even in the like the Bartora Hamelech Hagadol.
HaMelech HaGadol, yeah.
When people make for emphasis.
Mhm.
So is it, I guess my question is when it relates to a king and often referring to Hashem, would it be, is it also used as a form of emphasis taken out of the sentence? Because you're speaking a phrase for the
It would
emphasis,
still
or is it
be
just
the
because-
great king or the merciful God, or you know what I mean? It wouldn't turn into a sentence just
Okay.
because, yeah. This is literally just the inversion of the adjective
Okay.
and the noun. Like it literally is just like it sounds in English. Like we don't say, great is the king, you know what I mean? But we might say it in Shakespearean English or you know what I mean? Like, and so that's how they'd say it in the Bible. Great is our God, or great is the king. So that's that. So, but you see how they just basically inverted it, and you literally translate it as it reads too. Gadol HaMelech, it's still masculine singular as a describing adjective because melech is masculine singular, right? And we know that it's a short sentence because it's not Hagadol HaMelech. That would actually be grammatically incorrect. Hagadol HaMelech would be like an immigrant trying to speak Hebrew, like trying to directly translate. That would be an incorrect thing. But Gadol HaMelech is actually grammatically correct. Okay. Below are the possible combinations of definite and indefinite nouns with adjectives. And are we, Barbara or Brenda, are we on you? Is it your turn?
I think so.
Okay. And
So,
if you read actually all of them, then we kind of get fluidity. Okay.
oh, you want me to read them all? Sure. Oh, a good king. Hamelech Hato, the good king. Definite noun. with adjective. And then Hamalek Tov is the king is good. And that would be the complete sentence.
Right. So you see in the first one, it's an indefinite noun, right? Because there's no hey, plus an adjective without the hey. So it's just an indefinite sentence, right? Melech Tov, a good king. The next one is the good king. So you're making it a specific king. The good, or I'm sorry, the king, the good, because the adjective comes after and it has to match hey and hey. Now we know it made a short sentence when you have the hey in front of the melech, right? But no hey in front of the tov. So we know the king, and then we're like, oh, there's no hey there. So is good. And if we wanted to invert it, like in biblical Hebrew, it would be tov hamelech. Good is the king. But it would never be hatov hamelech, right? You see how that is not a given, that is not given at all as an option. Do we see that? Maybe.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Okay. The Hebrew word blessed, baruch, is a special kind of word. Although it's not an adjective, well, it kind of is, but I don't know. Anyway, it's used in the same way. Like an adjective, it has 4 forms and must match the noun it describes. Baruch is used like an adjective to form phrases and sentences. So, Ed, are we on you?
I guess so.
Yes? All right. The first phrase,
Melech Baruch, a blessed king.
yep. Barb,
Haaretz habrucha, which is the blessed land.
right. And we
And
know
it's
it's
a phrase, not a sentence.
correct. Yes, I would like people to say that. Is it a phrase or a sentence? Perfect. Morris,
Hamalachim Baruchim. The
yes,
kings are blessed. And it is a sentence.
yes, that's correct.
Haaretzot, habruchot. It is the blessed lands, and it's a phrase.
Exactly, the blessed lands. Okay. Mike,
Baruch Ata. Blessed are you, it says you are blessed, and that would be a sentence.
yes. Baruch atah Adonai, although, you know, it can also be Eloheinu melech. Yeah, blessed are you. But what if you were saying it to a singular female girl? What would you say?
Baruch Ata.
Baruch at. Right. Okay. Exercises. Translate these Hebrew sentences and phrases into English. Janine, I think we're on you. We'll start with number 1.
Okay.
And I think it would work the best if you do the whole number 1, all
Okay.
5 sentences. Yep.
So,
Or
Ein,
not sentences, all 5 combinations of words. Yeah.
so Ein Gadol.
Sorry, no, starting with, oh, sorry, Ben.
Oh, Ben Gadol.
Ben Gadol, yeah.
Ben Gadol.
And could you translate after you say it, just so we know what we're saying?
So a good boy.
Big boy, a big boy,
Uh-huh.
or a great boy,
Uh-huh.
or a great son. There's
Yeah.
a lot of different
Son.
ways this could go. A big
Okay.
son, a great boy, yeah. Yeah,
And then we have, and that is just a noun with an adjective.
mhm.
And so then we have haben gadol, which is the son is great. So that's
Uh-huh.
a sentence.
And I'm sorry, really quickly, I have to check my phone because my daughter's here at Sunday school today. I'm just gonna see if she has to wait for me or not.
Okay.
Sorry, let me just send her a quick text. All right. Okay,
Okay, the next one.
And Courtney, I'm gonna run too. So I
Okay.
assume you're just gonna stop at the end of this exercise. all
so
four.
at the end of this exercise, yeah.
Okay, how then?
And I'm sorry, just really quickly before, because I know, I think the next time, I don't have the next time we meet off the top of my head. Does anybody know? I don't know. I'll send it out in an email. I'm not sure off the top of my head, but if we could just review the new information and maybe read to the end of the chapter, so we kind of like, just, look over it so that we can kind of move through it, answer questions the next time we meet, and then start with chapter 6.
I
That
think
sound
we
okay?
meet next week.
Do we meet next week? We might.
We have,
Yeah.
I've got the 20th, the next time we meet,
Oh,
Of
I have
February 20th.
Okay, well, of course so my aunts just died. They actually both died. And we're doing a memorial service for them on the 19th. So it's out of town. So I am not going to be here again on the 20th. I'm so sorry. I had no control over it, but so we'll have to change that date as well. Shoot. Okay, I was actually going to look up and see, but again, I didn't have a lot of choice about when the memorial service was going to be.
Yeah,
So,
I have it in my calendar for February 6th also.
oh, February. Okay, I thought there was one in February, earlier in February too.
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
check. I'll check with Charles and send it out. And apologies in advance if it is on the 20th, but I will have to change it because I won't be here. So
And condolences.
yeah, thank you.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Um,
for the loss.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Thanks, everybody.
Okay, all right. So we'll see you on the 6th, most
Bye,
likely.
Barb.
Bye.
Okay. All right. So I'm sorry, Janine, to cut you off. We'll finish that.
That's all right.
Okay.
So it's haben, hagadol, and this one is a phrase that says, the good boy, or the great
The-
boy.
The great boy. Yeah.
Uh-huh. And the next one is habanim, gedolim, which is plural. So the great boys.
No, this
No,
one.
this one is,
Yeah.
the boys are great.
Yes. The
Okay,
boys are
this is
great.
the same. It's a good sentence. And habanim, hagol, hagadolim, which
Hagadolim.
is great boys. This one.
Yes.
Okay.
The great boys.
Not a
Yes.
sentence.
So it's going to follow that same pattern.
Okay.
And once you get familiar with the pattern, you can start kind of doing it in your head. So, and Barb's cue, like if there's punctuation,
That helps.
that's, a good indication that it's a full sentence. Yeah. Okay. Any questions, like based on what we've done today? Okay, and I will look off the top of my head, and I have our pages, our dates stored, but I don't have it readily accessible. So I'll just send out an email. Let's just review chapter 5 and maybe kind of look over it till the end, so we're feeling a little comfortable. And then of course, the next time, when we meet, I actually could ask if someone could cover. I mean, that's possible too, right? So I don't know why I didn't think of that. So instead of what?
February 6th. It's on the website too.
February 6th. Okay, so we'll see you February 6th. And then if it is February 20th, like we'll either get someone to cover or, vote on a date, which we've already done, I know, for a class that I owe you from last semester. So, okay.
Okay.
All
Great.
right.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
We'll
Take
see you on
care.
the 6th. Leave it out.